together with the powerless. In any conflict, there are always two groups of people. There are the powerful and there are the powerless, the mighty and the vulnerable. And in the fight, the mighty Australian government has chosen to pick with vulnerable adults, unaccompanied minors, and families from developing countries who are fleeing persecution. Where do we stand? We stand with the powerless. We stand with those who arrive on our shores seeking refuge. We stand with refugees. The moral panic surrounding boat people has seen a race to the bottom by the two main parties. Shame. Shame. A race to the bottom that leaves decent Australians with the urge to shower each time a new solution is proposed to remedy the problem. But what is the problem? What is our problem? How dare we bleat about the burdens of being a wealthy first world country from whom protection is sought? A wealthy first world country that far too often participates in the conflicts that create asylum seekers in the first place. That's right. Instead, shouldn't we be thankful that we don't have to flee our home and leave our loved ones behind to seek safety in a strange land? Shouldn't we use our good fortune as the firm foundation on which to hold out both hands, not just one hand, but both hands, and pull those who are less fortunate than we are to safety? Yeah! Australia has signed the Refugee Convention. This means we have given our word that we will not expel people who come to our shores seeking asylum.
Shame, Rod, shame.
This is what the government's PNG solution proposes.
Shame.
We have given our word that we will not punish those fleeing persecution that arrive on our shores to claim protection. The Refugee Convention that we have signed gives people the right to seek this protection. They have the right to do it. How in the world has it come to this? Have we forgotten the systemic persecution and murder of 6 million Jews in Nazi Europe, the very event that led to the creation of the 1951 Refugee Convention? In particular, have we forgotten the voyage of the damned, the doomed search by the SS St. Louis for a safe haven for its cargo of Jewish refugees? When Canada, the United States, and Cuba turned the SS St. Louis away, that boat was forced to return to Nazi Europe, where the Jewish asylum seekers on board met their fate. The Refugee Convention that we have signed incorporates the world's collective insight into the workings of power learned from the Holocaust. It grew from the world's understanding that if powerful, sovereign nations were given absolute control over who comes to this country and the circumstances in which they come, that the world's most powerless would be left to their fate in the way of Europe's Jews. We will decide who comes to this country and the circumstances in which they come. John Howard said this, didn't he? Does everybody remember it? Shame. John Howard said it, and it was as oppressive and contrary to the international laws that Australia has signed then as it is now. The Refugee Convention is all about preventing leaders like John Howard, Tony Abbott, and Kevin Rudd from having absolute power over the world's powerless. The Refugee Convention is all about putting the decision to flee and to seek asylum in the hands of the vulnerable. Today, we seek justice for those who flee to Australia because of conflicts in which Australia has played a part. Today, we demand accountability from the Australian government. We signed the Refugee Convention. Let's honour it and stop torturing asylum seekers. Mandatory detention. Today, we Melburnians, 5,000 of us, stand with the powerless and say about both sides' bankrupt rhetoric and cruel treatment of refugees, we say no. We won't stand for it. No, not in our name. Today we stand shoulder to shoulder with those who seek asylum. Thank you so much everyone for coming out and showing what Melbourne is really made of.